If you're a man over 65, I want you to pause, stop what you're doing, and listen for a moment. It's very likely that one of the vegetables your own doctor recommended, the one sitting in your fridge right now that you think is healthy, is silently sabotaging your energy, inflaming your prostate, and robbing you of the vitality you value. I'm Dr. Sofia Ramirez, and for years, I've watched hundreds of men just like you come into my practice, feeling frustrated, tired, and confused. Despite eating healthy, they feel weaker with each passing day. The truth modern medicine sometimes ignores is that the most powerful solution isn't always in a pill bottle. It's on your plate. What if I told you that some vegetables, yes, vegetables, are loaded with compounds that mimic female hormones in your body and block essential minerals vital for your masculinity? In this video, I'm going to reveal the 3 vegetable villains you need to avoid at all costs. And more importantly, I'll introduce you to 3 unsung heroes, 3 vegetables that science shows can help you regain your strength, improve circulation, and protect your testosterone naturally in a matter of weeks. Stay with me until the very end, and I'll give you an extra tip on how to prepare them to maximize their benefits and feel strong well into your 80s. But before I reveal these secrets that could change your health, if you find this information useful, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. This way, you won't miss any videos designed to help you live your best years with strength and clarity. If this topic feels important to you, write health in the comments. This helps me know what content you're most interested in. Your participation helps me create better content for you. Let's begin with the vegetable that is likely the most controversial and the one that surprises my patients the most: soy. Let me tell you about Carlos, a dear patient of mine. He was a 68-year-old retired history professor, a brilliant man with a sharp mind, but he came to my office feeling completely drained. "Doctora," he told me in a low voice, "I don't know what's wrong with me. My heart is healthy, my mind is fine, but I have no energy, no drive, and my intimacy with my wife just isn't the same." His blood tests showed something interesting. His cholesterol was perfect, but his testosterone was on the low end, and his estrogen, the female hormone, was unusually high for a man. I asked him about his diet. He proudly explained that, on his cardiologist's advice, he had replaced most red meat and dairy with heart-healthy options. His daily diet included smoothies with soy protein, tofu in his salads, and soy milk with his oatmeal. In that instant, it all clicked. Soy, despite its reputation as a superfood, is the richest source of phytoestrogens. Think of phytoestrogens as vegetable imposters. They are molecules that, inside a man's body, mimic the action of estrogen. For a man over 65, whose testosterone levels are already naturally declining, introducing these imposters into his diet is like adding fuel to the fire. The hormonal imbalance worsens. The result: low libido, fatigue, loss of muscle mass, and, as in Carlos's case, a fading erectile function. The problem isn't soy itself. When consumed in moderation and in its traditional fermented form, as in some Asian cultures, it can be harmless. The problem is the silent invasion of processed soy in our modern diet. It's in protein bars, dressings, meat substitutes, and hundreds of packaged products. The plan for Carlos was simple. We eliminated processed soy and replaced it with clean protein sources like eggs, free-range chicken, and fish. In less than a month, Carlos returned to my office. His energy was back, but the real proof of his improvement came in a note from his wife. It simply said, "Doctora, thank you for giving me my husband back." Now let's move on to the second enemy, one that is at the heart of our culture but in its modern form may be silently making us sick. I'm talking about corn. I want to be very clear here. I am not referring to the corn we eat grilled on the cob or the traditional tortilla made with nixtamalized corn. I'm talking about the corn that has been ultra-processed by the industry to create high-fructose corn syrup, refined corn oil, and cornstarch. These ingredients are everywhere. In soft drinks, packaged bread, cookies, sauces, and almost every processed food you can imagine. I remember Javier, a 62-year-old patient from Bogota, a hard-working man always trying to do the right thing. He came to me with persistent joint pain and a fatigue that wouldn't leave him alone. He also timidly admitted to suffering from erectile dysfunction. He told me that to take care of his heart, he had switched butter for margarine and olive oil for vegetable corn oil because the label said it was zero cholesterol. Ironically, his attempts to be healthy were inflaming him from the inside. The problem with processed corn is its extremely high content of omega-6 fatty acids. Our body needs omega-6s, yes, but in a delicate balance with the omega-3s found in fish, nuts, and flaxseed. The modern diet has destroyed that balance. Today, we consume up to 20 times more omega-6 than we should. When this ratio is broken, your body enters a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation. Imagine it as a small fire that never goes out inside you. This inflammation damages the endothelium, the sensitive lining of your arteries, and it is precisely the endothelium that produces a magical molecule called nitric oxide, responsible for relaxing and opening blood vessels so that blood flows with force. If the endothelium is damaged, nitric oxide production plummets. The result: stiff arteries, high blood pressure, and poor blood flow to all parts of the body, including the penis. With Javier, the solution was direct. We eliminated all refined corn and soy vegetable oils. We drastically increased his consumption of omega-3s with salmon, sardines, and a high-quality fish oil supplement. In a month, his joint pain decreased. The morning fatigue disappeared, and one morning, for the first time in years, he began to experience morning erections again, the clearest sign that his vascular health was improving. The third and final enemy is the most paradoxical because it's a favorite of gyms and healthy diets: spinach, specifically large amounts of raw spinach. Miguel, a 67-year-old patient from Madrid, was an exercise enthusiast. Every morning, without fail, he prepared a huge green smoothie full of raw spinach, thinking he was giving his body a cocktail of nutrients. However, he felt weaker and weaker, and his libido had disappeared. His tests revealed low testosterone and, surprisingly, very low zinc levels, even though his diet included foods rich in this mineral. Where was the problem? The culprit here is a chemical called oxalate. Raw spinach is one of the highest sources of oxalates. In the digestive tract, oxalates act like tiny mineral thieves. They bind to vital minerals like calcium and especially zinc and drag them out of your body before you can absorb them. As we've discussed, zinc is pure gold for a man. It's a fundamental pillar for testosterone production and prostate health. So with every sip of his healthy smoothie, Miguel was unknowingly depriving his body of the mineral it needed most to maintain his virility. Does this mean you should stop eating spinach? Absolutely not. Spinach is a wonderful source of magnesium and other nutrients. The key isn't what, but how. By simply cooking spinach, even sautéing it for a couple of minutes, you drastically reduce its oxalate content. This releases the minerals and allows your body to finally absorb them. When Miguel switched his raw smoothie for an omelette with sautéed spinach, his zinc and testosterone levels began to rise in a matter of weeks. His strength and mood returned. Now that you know the hidden adversaries on your plate, let's turn the tables. Let's talk about the power of rebuilding. I'll introduce you to 3 vegetables that I consider absolutely essential for men over 65. They aren't exotic or expensive. In fact, they're so common that most men overlook them. Our first hero and the undisputed champion of circulation is beetroot. If poor circulation and high blood pressure are the enemy, beetroot is your personal army. Beetroot is one of the richest natural sources of dietary nitrates. Don't confuse these with the harmful nitrates in cured meats. When you eat beetroot, your body converts these natural nitrates into nitric oxide. As we've already seen, nitric oxide is the master molecule that relaxes and expands your blood vessels, allowing blood to flow vigorously throughout your body. Imagine turning a kinked garden hose into a powerful fire hose. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition showed that regular consumption of beetroot juice can significantly reduce blood pressure and improve endothelial function in a matter of hours. However, the detail most people ignore is crucial. How you consume it is everything. The canned or pickled beetroot you find at the supermarket loses much of its magic. The extreme heat of canning destroys a significant portion of those healthy nitrates. Worse, the pickling process overloads it with sodium and vinegar, which can constrict your arteries, counteracting the very benefit you seek. To get its full power, you need fresh beetroot, grated in a salad, lightly roasted in the oven, or steamed. That's the key to unleashing its true circulatory potential. Our second hero is a champion of hormonal balance, but it comes with an instruction manual: broccoli. True male vitality isn't just about having more testosterone, it's about keeping excess estrogen in check. Broccoli, along with other cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower or Brussels sprouts, contains a revolutionary compound called sulforaphane. This substance is an incredible ally for older men. It helps the liver detoxify and eliminate excess estrogen from the body, which naturally promotes a more favorable hormonal environment for testosterone. It also reduces systemic inflammation and is a potent protector of prostate health. But, and this is a big but, sulforaphane is extremely sensitive to heat. If you boil broccoli until it's soft and lifeless, or worse, microwave it, you destroy most of this therapeutic component. What you're left with is inert fiber, yes, but without the protective power your body needs. Remember Javier, my patient with inflammation? He told me he ate broccoli every night, but when I asked how he prepared it, he replied, I put it in the microwave for 5 minutes until it's very soft. Without knowing it, he was annihilating the very nutrient his body craved. The right way is to steam it for no more than 3 or 4 minutes so that it remains crunchy and bright green, or even eat it raw with a healthy dip. It's a small change, but for a man over 65, small, repeated habits are what build or destroy health. This brings us to our third and final forgotten hero. And this, gentlemen, is the silent guardian of your testosterone, mushrooms. Yes, mushrooms, especially the common white button mushrooms you find in any supermarket. They are so much more than a simple ingredient for pizza or salad. They are a true natural pharmacy for male hormonal well-being. Let me go back to the story of Miguel the runner. Although his zinc levels improved by cooking his spinach, he felt that his competitive drive and libido still weren't 100%. He was missing a piece in his hormonal puzzle. That piece was a cunning enzyme that becomes more and more active as men age. It's called aromatase. Think of aromatase as a testosterone thief. Its function in the body is to convert your valuable testosterone into estrogen. With age, especially if there's a little extra belly fat, aromatase activity increases. In other words, this enzyme is robbing your body of testosterone and converting it into the female hormone before you can use it. This is where the beauty of mushrooms lies. Scientific research, such as that from the Beckman Research Institute, has shown that common white button mushrooms contain substances that act as natural aromatase inhibitors. They don't directly increase testosterone production. Instead, they act as bodyguards. They protect the testosterone you already have, preventing the enzyme from converting it into estrogen. This means more of your testosterone remains in your bloodstream as free and active testosterone, ready to do its job, giving you vitality, libido, mental clarity, and muscle mass. When I told Miguel to add sautéed mushrooms with garlic and olive oil a couple of times a week, the final piece fell into place. He called me a month later. There was a new depth in his voice. "This is it, Doctora," he said. "The drive is back. It's not a frantic energy, it's a quiet, confident strength I haven't felt in over 10 years. We've unmasked the vegetables you should avoid or prepare with caution. Soy for its hormonal impact, processed corn for its inflammatory load, and excess raw spinach for its ability to steal zinc. And we've discovered the 3 heroes you should include in your diet: fresh beetroot for circulation, properly prepared broccoli for hormonal balance, and mushrooms to protect your testosterone levels. But as I promised, for those who stayed until the end, here is the extra tip that will supercharge everything else. We've talked about zinc and magnesium, but there's a third mineral that most men ignore and that can drastically boost your testosterone. My bonus tip is boron, the forgotten mineral of male vigor. Boron. Yes, it's a trace element that few pay attention to, but science has shown it to be incredibly potent. Boron helps reduce a protein in the blood called SHBG. Think of SHBG as a security guard who handcuffs your testosterone, leaving it inactive and useless. By decreasing SHBG, boron helps increase your free testosterone, the kind that really counts for strength, energy, and libido. How do you get boron? You don't need expensive supplements. Foods like dates, raisins, and yes, our hero, the avocado, are excellent sources. Including a couple of dates in your smoothie or a handful of raisins as a snack is a simple way to ensure that the testosterone your body produces is actually usable. It's the invisible force that makes everything else work better. These are the fundamentals, but I'm sure many of you have more questions or want to learn more. If you found this video useful for you or for someone you care about, take a moment to like it, share it, and leave a comment below. Your story, your questions, or even a simple thank you can inspire another man to start his journey toward better health. I read all the comments, and your suggestions shape the future of this channel. Show this video to any man over 65 who is struggling with his vitality, intimacy, or confidence. It could have a greater impact than any medication. To make sure you don't miss our next conversations, click the subscribe button and turn on the bell. Together we can redefine what it means to age gracefully, and above all, with strength. Thank you for your trust and for being part of this project.